Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining me once again for another cozy and magical video. Today, I invite you to relax, settle in, and let the world slow down for just a moment, because we're about to step into one of the most enchanting Christmas stories ever created, the Polar Express. In this video, we're going on a warm and nostalgic journey through the snow, exploring hidden secrets, behind-the-scenes curiosities, fun facts, and fascinating details about how this beloved holiday movie came to life. So grab something warm to drink, get comfortable, breathe deeply, and let's begin this magical ride together. Because on this journey, the magic is real, if you believe. And before we begin, remember that in the description you'll find a completely free activity, PDF, so you can keep learning and having fun with the Polar Express. Feel free to download it and enjoy. Imagine a quiet winter night, the kind where the world feels still, where snow drifts softly through the air, and where the sky seems darker, deeper, almost as if it's waiting for something extraordinary to happen. It's on a night like this that our story begins. A story filled with wonder, doubt, hope, and the soft ring of a silver bell that only true believers can hear. Before the Polar Express became a famous holiday film, watched every year by families around the world, it began as a short, beautifully illustrated children's book by Chris van Allsburg, published in 1985. The book was only 32 pages long, but every page felt like stepping into a dream wrapped in foggy lights, soft shadows, and that warm feeling you only get during Christmas. It won the Caldecott Medal and quickly became a timeless classic. Transforming such a small book into a full-length film required imagination, creativity, and the courage to expand the story in ways that stayed true to its heart. New characters were created, emotional arcs were added, and the world of the book had to be stretched into something you could live inside for more than an hour. Director Robert Zemeckis, known for masterpieces like Back to the Future and Forrest Gump, saw something special in the book. He saw the chance to build a movie that felt like a dream. Soft, warm, a little mysterious. A movie that blended reality with fantasy so seamlessly that audiences could lose themselves inside it. To bring this vision to life, he used a revolutionary technique at the time: full performance capture. Actors wore suits covered in tiny reflective markers that tracked every movement, every gesture, even the smallest tilt of the head. It was bold, experimental, and incredibly ambitious. This technique allowed Tom Hanks to perform 6 different characters in the same film: the strict but caring conductor, the hero boy's father, the hero boy as an adult, the strange and mysterious hobo, Santa Claus himself, and an additional supporting role. Switching between characters required him to transform completely, changing his posture, his voice, and even the rhythm of his movements. Sometimes he performed entire scenes twice, once as one character, and then again as another. Behind-the-scenes footage shows him standing on an empty motion capture stage. No snow, no train, no North Pole, nothing but imagination. Yet he moved with complete belief, acting out scenes that would later be transformed into the magical world we know today. But this groundbreaking technology also had its challenges. The performance capture system struggled to perfectly recreate the human eye, the part of the face that carries the most emotion. Some viewers felt the eyes looked too still or too intense, entering what animators call the uncanny valley, a strange space where a character is almost lifelike, but not quite. The animators spent countless hours adjusting expressions, frame by frame, to bring warmth and depth to each character's face. Over time, though, the film's unique visual style became part of its charm. Its soft glow, its dreamy textures, the snow that looks like powdered light. All of it blends to create a world that feels nostalgic, comforting, and unforgettable. Music also played a huge role in shaping the emotional tone of the film. Composer Alan Silvestri created a soundtrack that feels like winter itself. Warm yet mysterious, soft yet powerful, with sleigh bells, sweeping strings, and gentle choral harmonies. The song Believe, performed by Josh Groban, became a modern Christmas classic, capturing the heart of the film in a single line. You have everything you need if you just believe. Even the sound effects were crafted with love and precision. Real antique sleigh bells were recorded to create the iconic pure ring of the first gift of Christmas. Sound designers visited real steam locomotives to capture whistles, clanks, and deep rumbles. The train in the film wasn't just a machine, it became a character, a living, breathing symbol of belief. The Polar Express locomotive was inspired by the real Père Marquette 1225, still active today. And yes, fans quickly noticed that 1225 also looks like 1225, the date of Christmas. But this was just a perfect coincidence, one of those magical little moments where reality seems to smile at the story. One of the most thrilling moments in the film is the rooftop sequence. The hero boy runs across the snowy roof of the moving train, fighting the wind and the cold. Actors filmed this on tilting platforms that rocked beneath them. Imagining snow and wind, even though the stage was completely empty. The scene with the hobo's ghostly puppets required wires, harnesses, and big theatrical movements, all of which were later transformed into a storm of swirling snow. And then there's Billy, the lonely boy from the other side of the tracks. His story adds emotional depth and heart to the journey. Billy isn't unsure about Santa because he's growing up. He's unsure because life has made him feel unimportant, forgotten, and a little broken inside. But through the kindness of the hero boy and the lead girl, he slowly begins to heal, to smile, to hope, and to believe again. Billy's emotional journey is one of the most touching aspects of the Polar Express. He represents the kind of child who doesn't doubt magic because he's older, but because life has made him cautious. Life has made him feel like joy is something that happens to other people, never to him. And that quiet sadness is something the film handles with incredible gentleness. When Billy first steps onto the train, he sits alone. He barely speaks. His voice is soft, hesitant, but slowly. Through kindness, laughter, and shared adventure, he begins to feel something he hasn't felt in a long time. He begins to feel included. The warmth of friendship starts to melt the cold that life placed around his heart. And by the end of the journey, Billy is no longer the lonely boy from the other side of the tracks. He is a child who has rediscovered hope. Inside the train, each character reflects a part of us. The know-it-all kid, who talks fast and loudly about everything he knows, represents logic without imagination. He always has an answer, but not always the wisdom behind it. The lead girl represents intuition, bravery, and empathy. She listens more than she speaks. She trusts her heart, and she encourages others to believe in themselves. And the hero boy represents the struggle between doubt and wonder, that delicate moment when a child begins to see the world differently and wonders whether magic ever truly existed. Then there is the hobo, a mysterious ghost-like figure who appears on top of the train. He is unpredictable, strange, and full of riddles. Some fans believe he is a guardian spirit. Others think he is a ghost. But most agree that he represents the hero boy's internal conflict. The part of him that questions, doubts, fears. The hobo appears when the hero boy is most unsure, guiding him in strange ways while also challenging him to face his fears. The film uses weather as an emotional language. When the children feel hopeful and excited, the snow falls softly, gently, like a blanket of peace. But when doubt, fear, or danger rise, the snow becomes fierce. The wind howls. The world grows cold and uncertain. Nature mirrors emotion, turning the landscape into a storyteller. The Arctic ice scene is a perfect example of this. As the train crosses a frozen lake, cracks begin to form in the ice. The sound echoes sharply, like breaking glass under immense pressure. The train skids and slides, fighting against nature itself. The children scream, laugh, panic, and hold on to each other, creating a moment that feels both terrifying and thrilling. Sound designers achieve these ice-cracking effects using crushed gelatin, synthetic ice, and layers of snapping sounds mixed together. A blend of creativity and engineering that transforms simple materials into cinematic tension. As the train reaches the North Pole, the world opens into something grand and magical. The city is enormous, filled with towering buildings, glowing lights, and thousands of bustling elves. Every corner seems alive, every street filled with energy. The animators worked for months to design this world, creating a mixture of warm holiday charm and extraordinary fantasy. The elves themselves are full of personality. Some are disciplined and serious, others are clumsy and funny. Some march like soldiers, others dance with joy. They chatter endlessly, joke with each other, and bring life to every scene. Many of their faces were modeled after real members of the animation team. Even Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks appear as elves in the background. A small gift for fans who watch carefully. And then, in the heart of the North Pole, comes the moment everyone waits for: Santa Claus. When Santa appears, the atmosphere changes instantly. The elves fall silent. The lights glow brighter. The music rises in warm golden tones. Everything slows down, as if the entire world is holding its breath. Santa is majestic, tall, and filled with kindness. His robe flows softly as he walks. His voice is deep and warm, and his presence fills the screen with a sense of wonder. Tom Hanks brought special care to this performance, giving Santa not just authority, but tenderness, gentleness, wisdom. The animators spent months making his beard flow naturally, his clothing move realistically, and his eyes shine with the warmth that makes Santa who he is. When Santa chooses the hero boy to receive the first gift of Christmas, it becomes the emotional peak of the entire film. The boy, trembling with a mixture of fear and hope, steps forward. Santa reaches into his sleigh and brings out a small silver bell, beautiful, simple, and perfect. He places it softly into the boy's hand and tells him that this bell is the symbol of belief. The hero boy shakes the bell and hears its pure, delicate chime. A sound so magical that it seems to shimmer in the air, and in that moment, something awakens inside him. Something he thought he had lost. The ability to believe. As the children return to the train, the conductor punches their tickets one last time, revealing secret messages that reflect what each child has learned on this journey. Learn, lead, believe. These words act as quiet reminders of courage, of growth, and of the discoveries each child made about themselves. The return trip is gentle and soft. Snow falls slowly outside. The train glows warmly from within, and the children talk quietly, holding their gifts, sharing smiles, and feeling the magic settle softly in their hearts. The journey may be ending, but the transformation is already complete. When the hero boy steps off the train and returns home, the night is still and peaceful. He walks through his house with quiet wonder, remembering every moment of the journey. And the next morning, he finds the silver bell under the Christmas tree. He shakes it and hears the beautiful, pure sound, bright and full of wonder. His parents shake it too, but hear nothing. They smile, assuming it must be broken. But he knows the truth. The bell still rings for him, because he believes the magic of the Polar Express doesn't end when the hero boy returns home. In many ways, that is where the magic truly begins. Because what he carries with him is more than a bell, more than a memory. It is a new way of seeing the world. A way of recognizing that belief is something quiet and personal. Something that doesn't ask to be proven, only to be felt. As the years pass in his life, the hero boy explains that his sister eventually stops hearing the bell. Like many children, she grows older, grows busier, grows more focused on the world she can see and measure. And slowly, the magic grows quiet for her. Not gone, but hidden behind the noise of everyday life. But for him, the bell continues to ring, clear, pure, full of wonder. Even as he becomes an adult, that sound remains unchanged, reminding him that magic never disappears. It only waits. Waits for someone willing to listen, willing to believe, willing to hold on to that spark that makes the world brighter. This final message is what makes the Polar Express so timeless, because the story isn't telling us that adults can't believe, or that magic belongs only to children. It's telling us that magic belongs to anyone who chooses it, anyone who opens their heart to wonder, anyone who remembers how to listen to the softest of sounds. The bell becomes a symbol that lives far beyond the story. For some people, it represents childhood. For others, hope. For others, faith, imagination, or the bravery to dream. And for many adults who watch the film every year, the question quietly lingers in their hearts. Can I still hear the bell? One of the reasons the Polar Express remains so beloved is because it speaks to both children and adults at the same time. Children see an exciting adventure filled with trains, elves, Santa, and snow. Adults see a gentle reminder of something they may have forgotten. A reminder that belief doesn't disappear unless we stop choosing it. The film also revolutionized animation and filmmaking. Performance capture, though imperfect at the time, was a bold leap into the future. It paved the way for films like Avatar, Tintin, and many of Robert Zemeckis' later works. The idea of using motion capture for every character was unheard of, ambitious, risky, but it opened new doors for storytelling. And beyond technology, the Polar Express created traditions. Every year, families climb aboard real-life Polar Express trains around the world, drinking hot chocolate, listening to the story, meeting Santa, and reliving the magic in person. These trains bring the film to life, giving children and adults a chance to step into the story themselves, to feel that sense of wonder firsthand. Households everywhere watch the movie as part of their holiday traditions. Some families gather with blankets and hot cocoa. Others watch it by the Christmas tree. Others save it for Christmas Eve as a final moment of magic before bedtime. And for many people, the Polar Express marks the beginning of the holiday season. A warm signal that it's time to slow down, enjoy loved ones, and feel the magic in the air. The film teaches us that magic is not something you chase. It is something you allow, something you recognize, something that appears in small moments, moments that feel gentle, quiet, and full of meaning, like the glow of Christmas lights on a cold evening, the warmth of someone's smile, the hush of snowfall in the night, or the delicate ring of a bell. It invites us to step back from the noise of life, from responsibilities, stress, routines, and return to the part of ourselves that once believed so effortlessly. It reminds us that no matter how old we become, there will always be a small piece of childhood inside us, waiting for us to knock gently on its door. Because believing is not childish. Believing is brave. And as our journey through this story comes to an end, imagine once more the sound of the train whistle echoing in the snowy distance, the soft glow of the locomotive lights, the rhythmic clatter of wheels on icy tracks, and the gentle chime of the silver bell ringing just for you. The snow falls quietly, the world seems still, and for a moment, everything feels possible. Everything feels bright. Everything feels magical. And maybe, just maybe, if you close your eyes right now, take a deep breath, and let yourself listen carefully, you'll hear it too, that delicate sound, that tiny sparkle of belief. Because the bell still rings, always, for those who truly believe. Thank you so much for joining me on this warm and magical journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back for more cozy and enchanting stories. And until next time, may your days be filled with warmth, wonder, and the magic of believing.